Hey, I'm Chef Mark Garcia. Welcome to this virtual cooking class held by the Office of University Life at Columbia University. So, let's get started. My name is Mark. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. I'm the sous chef at a restaurant called Made Nice. This recipe that we're making today is going to be called braised chicken with rice pilaf. So over here, we have some flat leaf parsley. I got this bunch for $1. A red bell pepper. I really like these guys because they're, again, super versatile in flavor. You can find them anywhere in the supermarket. My preferred type of onion is going to be this one right here. It's a Spanish yellow onion. It's a lot sweeter than your red onion, which would be more, sharp in flavor. And they come in various sizes. At the end of the day, you can add as much onion or as little onion as you would like. Over here, we have some long grain rice. This long grain rice is less starchy. Quick little tip for you guys is that whenever you measure rice, you don't want to do it by weight, you want to do it by volume. You can make your own chicken stock like I did, or you can buy the 32-ounce containers. It's completely fine. If you have extra parsley stems, if you have extra onion skins, if you have really anything you want to put in there, just bring it up to a boil. It's going to infuse those flavors, and now your chicken stock tastes like chicken, parsley, onions, whatever you'd like. I was trained classically French, so I like to use butter in everything. More butter is better, but I also do have some quick little tips for you guys. If you are dairy-free, if you are gluten-free, I'm looking out for you too as well, because I know that in these times it's really important to take care of ourselves. So here we have our ingredients for the chicken. This is a very humble chicken. It's a process called braising or stewing. Braising is more technical, and there's certain steps we require. But the thing about cooking is that it's very simple. You can apply this technique for vegetarians. You can do this with a piece of cauliflower or something hearty like cabbage instead of chicken if you want to stay away from that. There's a French term called Mirepoix, and it consists of 3 basic vegetables. It's going to be your celery over here. It's going to call for an onion. It's going to call for carrots. Personal favorites over here, we have garlic and thyme. We have some tomato paste over here. We're just going to add a nice brightness and a little bit of umami to the dish. We have some flour to, add a little bit of body, but if you are gluten-free, you can go ahead and leave it out, and it's not going to affect your finished product at all. It's going to make your sauce just a little more runny, but that's okay because you can just cook it in a little longer. And then we have more chicken stock. Finally, we get to our protein, which is going to be our chicken legs and thighs. On your recipe, you'll note that it says chicken legs and chicken thighs each. I left them like this, but I want to show you all how to separate them in case you can only buy them like this from the local butcher or your supermarket. Food is all about the basics, so I'm going to show you how I like to cook it. And I'm just going to trim off the root. And if you do compost, these are compostable. You take your knife, and just run it to the side there. Make sure that your blade is as sharp as it can be right now to give you a nice precise cut. So, for your dice, take your onion. For the large dice, I'm just going to go ahead, cut it in half like this. Boom, you have your half. What's next? Take it this way, and you have these strands that are coming off. Not a problem, we'll get to those next. I'll take it and I'll cut it into thirds. So now you have that. Over here, I'll cut it in half. Put it to your side. These pieces right here, just cut them in half. I use a farm called Norwich Meadows, and they have an amazing, amazing vegetable selection. They're at the Union Square Farmers Market every Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. So, you know, if you're ever in the area, they also do home delivery in Manhattan. So, you know, they're not sponsoring me to reach them out, but I think it's important to support our farmers. I take a sandy wipe, I wipe down my board, I wipe down my knife. Here, you see all these little fibers. Those are going to be, it's going to be telling you where the seeds are. So in between one of those, I'm going to make a quick slice down. And now that I have that pepper sliced down and separated, I'm going to go ahead and take my knife, and you can see that right there. I'm going to run my knife and just cut along these, taking off all those seeds. I've gone ahead and removed all the seeds from the pepper. Don't be intimidated when you see people cut really, really fast. That just takes practice. But if you need to take your time with this, that's completely fine. You know, you're still learning, you're trying, and that's the really cool part. These are great. They're called plastic dough scrapers or bench scrapers. They cost me $1, and if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't want to pick up food, or you don't want to, you know, get your hands everywhere because we are trying to be safe and we're trying to limit as much contact with food as we can, get yourself one of these. I go to a store in the city called JB Prince. They're located right on 31st Street, and they have a bunch of kitchen supplies there. You want to make carrots and any vegetable you really cut or cook together uniform size, because if they're uniform size, they're going to cook evenly. That's the reason there's so many different ways to cut onions and carrots and celery, and it's more than just knife skills, it's uniformity. I'm a big fan of parsley, so I'm going to use the stems and all. Go ahead and wash these through. You can spin them with a salad spinner, or you can just, you know, press them down with a paper towel. If you don't have gloves in your house, you can go ahead and use it, touch it with your hands, and then just make sure that you wash your hands after. The way I was taught to cut protein is that the protein will tell you how it wants to be cut. See this piece of fat right there again? This side, you'll see it as this line right there. You can see it's darker yellow, and then you can see more of the red meat there. So go ahead and cut it there. Now you have your one chicken thigh, and you have your one chicken leg. So now we're going to start cooking our food. We're going to do it at the same time, because when you're cooking, you want to make sure that you can have things going and you're kind of working while you work. We're going to go ahead and add our butter in for the rice pilaf. Go ahead and add our canola oil. And add your onions in there. In the back here, we have the chicken stock that's reducing or getting hot for the rice pilaf. If you are vegetarian, you can go ahead and use some water in there. We're going to go ahead and add our rice. And if you have an electric stove in your, in your kitchen, in your dorm room, in your house, it's the same concept. You just want to make sure that you're keeping more of an eye on your food, because with your electric stoves, it's harder to control temperature. With gas, you can go ahead and lower your heat and it'll instantly lower. but if you're doing electric, it'll take a couple of seconds to register. So I'll use my tongs for my chicken. I want to make sure that I'm doing skin side down. That's the noise you want to hear when you sear chicken. I'll add my bell pepper in there. I'm gonna add my hot chicken stock. As I add it, I'll give it a stir. I'll do a pinch of salt just to get some of the flavors in there. Look at that beautiful color on that chicken. Color means flavor. That's what you're looking for right there. That beautiful, nice brown. In this same pan, now that you've had all this chicken fat cook off, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add our onions. I personally like my onions to still have a little bit of a bite to them, but you can take your onions and cook them longer if you'd like. I'm gonna go ahead and add my carrots inside. So now that the tomato paste and that the flour have been added in, we're gonna cook them so that you cook out that flour. You don't wanna get any of that flour flavor in there. It'll taste really gummy. And you also wanna really make sure it coats all the vegetables in there. You're essentially making a roux at this point. You have fat, and you have flour, and you have all these vegetables in here. Once you have that, I like to add my garlic and my thyme. I'll go ahead and add some of my stock. And I'm going to go right into this pan right here. If you have a casserole dish, you can use the casserole dish. Any stock you may have remaining. And go ahead and add your chicken back in there. So here we have the chicken. It has all of the, I'm gonna go ahead and do this for you guys. It has all of that carrots, onion, celery. You make sure you put the skin side up so that you really get those, the bottom part of that chicken that hasn't been cooked yet, nice and cooked. That'll go into the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. You want to temp your chicken to make sure it reads over 165. That's how you know that the chicken will be nice and cooked. When you're cooking your rice, you want to make sure that you're cooking off the moisture and that you give time for the rice to steam. The steam is going to help that rice really just take on a whole new texture. You're going to not run the risk of overcooking it and making it very dry. And then you're also going to impart a lot of that flavor in there. So while this is going, we're going to check on our chicken. I actually got one in a little earlier to make sure I can show you guys the finished product. Our finished chicken. You see how that moisture has reduced, but you still have some in there. And I left the chicken earlier, still connected at the leg and thigh, just to show you that it can also be done like that. With this chicken, you'll be able to see a couple things. You'll be able to see how tender it is. I'm applying almost no pressure, and the meat will just kind of fall off the bone. You can take this sauce right here, and you can go ahead and serve it with your chicken. If you went through all that trouble to put all of this work into that sauce, don't let these juices go to waste. Put this on top of your chicken, serve them with the vegetables, or you can go ahead and you can strain them out. Once you strain them out, what's going to happen is you can reduce it. See that steam coming off of that rice? That's how you know you're good to go. For the finishing touch, we're going to go ahead and add some of your parsley in there. Think about that nice bright green contrasting that red bell pepper. Go ahead and give it a try. And that rice could use a little more salt. So our rice is ready. We have our chicken ready. Now the last thing we need to do is just plate it up. For the plate up, we'll go ahead and we'll spoon some rice in there. This amount of rice, it's good enough to feed, there's enough in there to feed 2 to 4 people, depending on how hungry you are. Go ahead, put your chicken leg on there, your chicken thigh on there. Put those vegetables on there. Don't be afraid to eat your veggies during these times. That sauce will be nice and a little bit reduced because of that flour that you put in there. Like a little bit more parsley on top of the garnish, that's great. If you're like me, you'll like a little bit of olive oil on there. Do some black pepper. And there you have it. Straightforward, delicious, very simple cooking. Nice braised chicken with some rice pilaf. You can do so much with this. You can substitute your rice for orzo, which is a type of pasta. You can do a different kind of rice, such as jasmine, which is more floral. And you can go ahead and substitute the chicken with cauliflower if you're vegetarian or if you're just craving vegetables that day. Before I go, chicken. If you have leftover rice, cool your rice down in the fridge, and then once it's cooled, put a cover on it, and then you can just reheat it with a little bit of chicken stock, a little bit of butter. With your chicken legs and thighs, what I recommend doing is, if you don't eat all the chicken, which you might, it's pretty tasty, you can take the chicken legs and thighs, you can pick the thing of all the meat, you can discard the bones or compost the bones, and then with the chicken meat itself, you can go ahead and shred it, put it on pizza, put it in a taco. Really, the possibilities are endless. So there we have it. Thank you so much for joining me today on this virtual cooking hosted by Columbia University. It was so much fun to do this with you guys, and I really hope that you try this at home and have fun with it. Be sure to tag me at my Instagram handle, which will be on the screen. Hope you guys stay healthy and stay safe. I'm Chef Mark Garcia, and I'm looking forward to the next time. Bye.